We have been so lucky to have the service of such a man and such an elected leader for this region for so long. So, our next speaker is the New York State Senator Cecilia Tkaczyk from the new 46th District. I met Cece when she was on the campaign trail and was very active on the fracking issue and is standing firm here today. I also think it's important to note that Cecilia has a sheep farm, and that one of the impacts that we're seeing in other states is that fracking is contaminating livestock, contaminating cows and other animals, as well as people. So another thing to keep in mind as this conversation moves forward. Please welcome Cece Tkaczyk up to the mic.
Good morning, everyone. It's really a pleasure and my honor to follow Congressman Hinchey. When you run for office or you think about running for office, there are a few heroes that come to mind, like Congressman Hinchey. And even though I live in Schenectady County, whenever he was on the radio, especially on WAMC, you stopped what you were doing and you listened. Because you knew Congressman Hinchey was going to give you the truth, and he was going to be the one that's looking out for the little person, the little guy, the sheep farmer who's worried about their property and making it their livelihood in agriculture. And it's my pleasure to say that I'm so excited to be here as the Senate representing the 46th Senate District and joining my colleagues, Assemblyman Skartados and Assemblywoman Didi, Barrett, and County Executive Mike Hein, and I know there's other local elected officials, that we, as Congressman Hinchey said, can leave time for the scientists to do their work. And what a simple statement that is. And what's the rush when it's our job as elected officials to make sure that we are protecting the health and well-being of our citizens and protecting our natural resources. It's our job to make sure we have all the information before this process can proceed, that our land is safe, that our people are safe, that our kids are safe, and we don't have to worry about the food supply. I do have a few comments that I'd like to make. Frankly, I am happy to stand here with Congressman Hinchey, but I have to applaud the governor for his decision to wait for the science and not the politics, and I applaud him for his stance on that. And I believe the legislature should support him by enacting a moratorium on fracking that would allow the study of science to be done first. There's two bills out there, both in the Assembly. They've been introduced in the Senate that would place a 2-year moratorium on fracking to allow the science to be done. I support those pieces of legislation. The energy conglomerates have a vested interest in fracking and are urging our state to move forward, claiming it will be a tremendous boost to local economies. And they are spending a lot of money trying to convince the public that it is safe. But there's growing evidence that the opposite is true, that fracking does not provide many local long-term jobs and can have a devastating effect on our local infrastructure, our property values, our way of life. This is not long-term sustainable jobs that we need in the upstate economy. And frankly, it's our job to make sure that the health concerns are adequately addressed. We can only do that by taking the time to study all of the available and anticipated research. The 2-year moratorium currently proposed by the state legislature would support the governor's position. That will give us the time to get the facts and make the right decision for New York. I urge all of you who are here, folks from the Frack Action in Hudson Valley, United Against Fracking, to urge the majority leaders in the Senate, Dean Skelos and Jeff Klein, to bring the moratorium bills to the floor of the Senate so we can get them passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Tkaczyk. We also have a few